You've seen the ocean before, maybe you've swum in it, maybe you've stood at the edge and felt how infinite it looked. Now imagine waking up tomorrow morning and it's just gone. Not frozen, not polluted, not rising, gone. Every ocean, every sea, every lake connected to them. Overnight. What you're about to hear is not a bedtime story. It's what the science actually says would happen to every living thing on this planet. The oceans cover 71% of this planet. They hold 97% of all the water on Earth. Their average depth is 3,688 meters. The deepest point, the Mariana Trench, drops nearly 11 kilometers straight down. We are not talking about a puddle drying up. We are talking about 1.335 billion cubic kilometers of water, vanishing in one night. To put that in perspective, if you tried to count every drop of ocean water one by one, counting one drop per second, it would take longer than the entire age of the universe. That's what's gone. Now let's talk about what's left. The first thing that happens isn't a drought, it's a collapse. Within hours of the oceans disappearing, the atmosphere begins to destabilize. You see, the oceans don't just hold water, they regulate the entire planetary temperature. Every weather system on Earth is driven by ocean evaporation. Every cloud, every rain, every snowstorm. Without the oceans, the water cycle breaks completely. Within 48 hours, no rain anywhere on the planet. Within a week, the air begins to dry out at a cellular level. Your lungs were designed to breathe air with a specific humidity. Without it, every breath slowly damages the tissue inside them. But that's not the immediate crisis. The immediate crisis is the exposed ocean floor. 3/4 of the planet's surface is now bare rock, ancient sediment and millennia of compressed biological material. And it's drying. Fast. The sediment, now exposed to direct sunlight and wind, begins to turn to dust. Massive dust storms covering entire continents within days. Dust so fine it penetrates everything, every building, every shelter, every lung. But here's where it gets strange in a way nobody expects. Without the oceans, the Earth looks nothing like any map you've ever seen. The ocean floor isn't flat. It's a world as complex as any continent. Mountain ranges taller than the Himalayas, valleys deeper than the Grand Canyon times 10, ancient volcanoes, hidden plateaus, underwater rivers now exposed as dry canyons. The Mid-Atlantic Ridge, a mountain range that stretches 65,000 kilometers, suddenly becomes the longest above-ground mountain range in human history. Nobody alive has ever seen it. But here's what makes it philosophically unsettling. Those ocean floors have been hidden from us for the entire existence of our species. Everything we know about history, civilization, and geography was built around the assumption that the oceans were permanent. Our borders, our trade routes, our entire concept of where things are, all of it becomes meaningless overnight. The world map has to be redrawn from scratch. And the species that survives this will inherit a planet that looks completely alien, even though it was always there, hidden beneath the water. Now let's talk about the thing that ends everything else: the food chain. The oceans produce 50% of all oxygen on Earth, not the rainforests, not the trees, the ocean. Specifically, phytoplankton. Microscopic organisms floating on the ocean surface that photosynthesize just like plants. Without the ocean, they die within hours. Within 2 weeks, oxygen levels in the atmosphere begin to drop measurably. Within months, the air becomes thin enough to affect human cognitive function. Thinking becomes slower. Decisions become harder. Panic sets in at a biological level, but the food chain collapses long before the oxygen does. Marine life represents the base of the food supply for over 3 billion people on Earth, gone overnight. Every coastal civilization, which is most of human civilization, loses its primary food source simultaneously. Within 30 days, global famine begins. Not a regional famine, not a country in crisis. Every nation, every continent at the same time. And here's the part that haunts me most about this scenario. The last thing the ocean does before it disappears, is reflect the sky. For one final moment, every ocean on Earth becomes a perfect mirror, and then it's gone. Here's the thing about the ocean that we never think about. We treat it like a backdrop, like scenery, something that's always been there and always will be. But the ocean is not permanent. In the early history of this planet, there were no oceans. They formed over millions of years from water vapor released by volcanic activity and delivered by asteroids. The ocean was built, slowly, piece by piece, drop by drop. And right now, today, human activity is changing the chemistry of that water faster than at any point in the last 300 million years. We are not draining the ocean overnight, but we are changing what it is. Slowly, quietly, without anyone waking up to find it gone. So the real question isn't what would happen if the oceans dried up overnight. The real question is, what are we doing to them while nobody is watching?